welcome you to the public meeting for Verona Borough Council for October 9th, 2018. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Kennel.
President Vicky Bell.
Here.
Mr. Conti is out. He got stuck at work again. Sends his regrets. Dr. Carpenter.
Present.
Ms. Lalbo. Mr. McCarthy.
Here.
Mrs. Provenza.
Here.
Mr. Suchovich. Here. Mr. Alexander.
Present.
Mr. Pitch.
Here.
Mayor Cupro. Here. And I am here as well.
Thank you.
I changed.
Council will now hear comments from the public. Mr. Brown, register comments.
Good evening, Curtis Brown from 6708 East Bear Bishop. I just wanted to give an update on the text marketing and where we are regarding information that's going out and coming back in. Currently, we have 278 signups. This month we are up 29 signups via most of the Facebook posts. We've gotten Carrie involved, so she is putting the information out to the school board specifically and via the Facebook pages. We're at 11% increase for the month only. We're about 1% down each month for people who decide to opt out for whatever reason. Text blasts that have been sent, about 49 just through the summer. I know we actually right before the summer started. So starting around in June, we sent out 49 text blasts, and that was a myriad of information regarding the flood, of course, the farmers market, the food truck roundup, the wrestling, and all the information like that. And total outgoing messages have been around 9,100 messages total to the aggregate total of signups that we have. So we're excited. It continues to move along. We've gotten a lot more interest just over the past week. I believe the schools have gotten more involved in getting information from the school, and we're also getting information to the school and the parents to have them sign up if they did not know about it. So I had two questions. Is there anyone that's not signed up that's not getting the text messages?
I'm signed up, but my phone's not receiving messages.
Yeah.
Okay. What service do you have?
T-Mobile.
Okay, I have T-Mobile too, and I get them fine. And Dory just tried it on hers, she did not get them.
She has T-Mobile too?
It's just T-Mobile.
Yeah, I don't get them for some reason. I got them like once, and then it stopped.
Okay.
It's weird.
You have an iPhone?
I do.
Okay. That may be, she is an iPhone as well. Yes.
Question, I had to get a temporary new cell phone. So do I just sign up again like it's a new thing, new
Yeah, I
account?
would say do that anyway, just in case.
Yeah.
Most companies will keep the number in, just in case. Just do it again.
It's one of these Walmart things.
Yeah, so we'll do it again for you.
All right, thanks.
Mr. Brown, how do you sign up if you wanted to?
There's two ways. You can take your mobile phone and compose a new message. You type the word Verona in the message section. And the number that it's going to is 21777.
So if I wanted to put into my messages, Verona 21777, that would,
The message is Verona, the word only. The number it's going to would be 21777.
I
See?
understand. So it would go to 21777.
Correct.
My phone put a dash in there,
That's fine.
and the message would be Verona. Is it be capitalized?
Nope, doesn't have to be.
Either way?
Either way.
You said there was another way to do it?
Yes, we also have information to be going on the website soon where you can go to the website and just put your phone number and it will do the same process. So we'll have to work through the technical issues on it.
Is that just like a piece of code that you
It's
want
a code, yeah.
Can you email me that piece of code so I can make sure they have it on there for when they go live
Yes.
in a couple weeks?
It's just a block of code. So
Perfect.
That worked on my phone.
Okay.
What is the website?
It'll be the borough.
It'll be the borough website.
Oh,
So it'll
okay.
be directly on that side. We will also be putting flyers in the chamber bags they're going to be stuffing next week. So we'll put a flyer in each one of those bags as well. So those parents, of course, can hear about it as well. So we've already set that up and got the flyer ready to go.
You were saying signups this month are 29, as in this month, October, or there's no date on the sheet, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, this
if it
month,
was-
October.
So in roughly 9 days, there's been 29 signups?
Correct.
I have another question. I just did this on this new El Cheapo phone, and it says, "You are now signed up to receive text alerts, max 6 messages per month."
So that gives you a parameter, so you know how many you'll be getting.
Oh,
Maybe it could be less, could be more, not your messages, but the message comes from around.
Okay, so it's not like a limited thing, it's just saying that you won't be getting 20 messages. Okay, thanks. I love it, by the way. It really works nicely.
We've got a lot of feedback. I get stopped in John Diego a lot. It just helps. The information's quick, it's to the point.
Yes.
You don't have to do much to get it.
And what is the current process to getting the information to you?
Email, just send me an email,
And that email is?
it's info, I-N-F-O, at Jira, J-I-R-E-H, mobile.com. And so whenever you send it to me, I will make sure the information goes out. If it's of a timely nature, just put that in the subject. Other than that, we get the emails, we check. Some are quicker than others.
Okay, so you're driving down Allegheny River Boulevard and a tree is across the street, across the road. But you're driving, I mean, you're sitting there, but what if you can't, like, email you right in that moment?
Well, if you can't email, that's the only way we can you can get me the information is to email. So you're gonna have to, well, if you're not driving, just pull it up on your phone and just.
Or,
Because I get email, everything comes to my phone, so I'll see it and I can copy and paste it from my phone and post it.
okay, so if for some reason that doesn't work, I can call Jerry,
Yeah, you can call me and I can email.
someone, okay, if for whatever reason.
Can you repeat that email address?
Yes, info, I-N-F-O, at Jira, that's J-I-R-E-H, mobile.com. Any questions?
When we had met earlier, back in January, I had taken some notes, and it said that by the end of September that you were anticipating having 700 enrolled. So we're down quite a few.
Yeah, we're doing quite a few.
Okay.
So we expect to maybe recover that over the next several months or so. And I think what's really going to help is having additional marketing help from Carrie as well, so we can make sure the information gets into every one of the other parts of the room on a consistent basis, so they know, that the information is available.
Okay,
That's it.
thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, council will now hear comments on agenda-related items from the public. Please approach the podium, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Okay, we'll move right on with bills payable.
Everybody has a financial report in front of them. There's a list of the bills. I would request a motion to pay the bills.
Can I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy. Second. Second by Mrs. Loalbo. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
All right, tax collector special taxes report. We received in the month of September $3,104.25 in current year real estate taxes, $2,290.02 in delinquent real estate taxes, $1,294.09 in real estate transfer taxes, $23,400 in current year earned income taxes, $1,000.51 in local service taxes for the current year.
Can I have a motion to accept the tax collector special taxes report?
Make a motion to accept the special taxes.
Motion by Mrs. Loalbo. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
We began the month of September with $551,583.17 in the account. We received into the general fund $62,891.89. We spent $97,183.89. Our ending balance as of September 30th, 2018 was $481,902.50.
Can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Loalbo. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Police chief's report.
Meeting this is for the month of September. Received 118 complaints, 23 crimes reported, 21 cleared, 21 arrests, citations. Crimes code summaries issued with 9, vehicle code summaries issued was 10, borough code summary issued 16, 95 borough parking tickets, and 3 ordinance violations. Our revenue sources, our magistrate's fines collected was $400.82. Borough fines and fees collected $685. We had $90 in police reports purchased. Municipal fines $120.98. Total fines and fees collected was $1,296.80. Then another $730 for parking permit fees. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to accept the police chief's report?
Make a motion to accept the police chief's report.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Suchovich. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Fire chief's report.
We had 9 fire calls for the month of September.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the fire chief's report?
Make a motion to accept the fire chief's report.
Motion by Mrs. Loalbo, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. McCarthy. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Can I have the Lower Valley Ambulance report?
I have 2 reports, one for the month of August and one for September. First report, the month of August, we had a total of 34 911 responses into Verona Borough. 14 of them were advanced life support, 9 were basic life supports, 7 were patient refusals, 2 cancellations, 1 fire, 1 DOA. Total responses for the entire service area was 339 and 60 non-emergency transports. For the month of September, we had a total of 41 calls in Verona, 19 of which were ALS, 13 which were POS, 4 refusals, 1 lift assist, 1 fire call, 1 DOA. Total for the month service-wide was 398 and 48 non-emergency transports.
Can I have a motion to accept the Lower Valley Ambulance report for August and September?
We'll make that motion.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter, is there a second?
Second.
Doesn't
Right?
matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Motion by Dr. Carpenter, second by Mr. Suchovich. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
The only other thing I have is to let everybody know that we're still working on the budget. We are on pace for the schedule that we discussed at the workshop meeting. We will have our preliminary numbers for everybody on council and the mayor for the workshop, which puts us on schedule for having it done prior to having it approved for the December meeting and not having to have an extra meeting. And then I would request that we have an exec session. We do not need to come back.
Thank you.
We're gonna do meeting minutes, Jerry?
Oh, yes. So I handed everybody, I've made all the changes to all the prior meeting minutes that we've been discussing for a few months. All of those changes were made. I also included for everybody, there was a month meeting, it was a missing meeting from that stack that I gave you before from May that I handed out and emailed earlier. And you have that, so I'd like to approve the minutes for all of those meetings, and then I've also handed out the meeting minutes for both September meetings that need to be approved as well, if you are comfortable passing them today.
Okay,
There's some small changes that are on the May.
Yeah, so Nancy gave me some small changes for the May one, so it would have to be approval pending those changes.
And also for September.
Correct.
okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes pending the corrections for May 8th, the regular business meeting, September 11th, the regular business meeting, and for September 24th, the workshop.
I'll make that motion to accept them pending the changes.
Okay, motion made by Mr. McCarthy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Lualbo. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Motion passed.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor?
The last meeting I had brought up, I had told you that 5 communities of the mayors, we had met, and we were talking about vacant properties. In Monroeville, they do what's called land bank vacant properties. And I talked to them last week, and rather than somebody going out there, they're willing to come here if you're interested at the workshop to, they'll tell us, more about it. I know nothing about it other than what, I don't know if you, you guys, or the solicitors do in
Right.
Monroeville.
Well, so here's the thing, with regard to the land bank, it's a new tool now for a couple of years now that the legislature has provided school districts and local communities where these dilapidated structures go into this land bank, and then the land bank helps to pay for rehabilitation of the properties. The only problem with it is that the school district must participate before the local communities are allowed to participate. So Riverview would have to agree to join the land bank before Verona and Oakmont could agree to join as well. And if you don't have 100% participation, it doesn't go forward. But I think it'd be a very enlightening talk that those people would give the mayor and council if they did come in. It would just give them information.
Right, because we need to do something with these abandoning and vacant properties. It's not fair to our taxpayers if we're flipping the bill on maintaining it every week. It adds up. We need to do something, so I think that this is one avenue we could look at, and like the solicitor said, the school district is the biggest deal, because Verona in the past has always forgave the taxes along with the county, but the problem is the school board. They would not give it up. And I never could understand why. If you owe $10,000 to the school, you still ain't getting it, so give it up, let somebody else, reclaim the property and put it back on the tax rolls. To me, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, you're gonna lose, but you're still losing by maintaining the property, and we got a lot of properties that we're maintaining.
So will you make arrangements for them to come to the
Yeah.
workshop in October? And the 2 properties that we just had a hearing on, would that go on to? No, okay.
And the other thing is too, I had brought up about Patsy's parking sign with the ordinance. I'm gonna turn it over to the ordinance department, basically. You just can talk to him. I'm gonna give you his number, 412-828-7050. He keeps calling me, asking me about it, and I keep telling him I'm gonna bring it up again, and that's basically up to the board.
So basically, what I understand Mr. Patsy is asking for is a 20-minute parking only.
We already have the sign. We put it,
Well, I understand, I thought he only had like what are those?
Sandwich board.
Sandwich board sign.
no, it's the borough gave him a sign. It said 20-minute parking, but we never passed an ordinance on it. And there's a neighbor there that constantly parks there because he knows that we can't do nothing about
So
it.
what we need is authorization, and that's something that the council desires to do, is to authorize me to prepare an ordinance and get it advertised, because we're going to have other ordinances to get advertised for next month's meeting. We might as well do it all at once, to prepare an ordinance authorizing a 20-minute only parking sign at that location.
And he does not abuse it. It's from, I think when he opens up from 9 to 6, then the sign is mobile, basically. He can take it out, then they park there throughout the night.
Well, if it's going to be a borough enforced sign, he's not going to be able to take it out. It's going to say
So we can
20-minute
cement it
20-minute
in.
parking only from, if you want to say 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., that's fine.
So I need a motion to,
I'm sorry, just a point of discussion.
Well, let's get the motion on the floor first, and then we can have the discussion.
All right,
Thank you.
okay.
I'd like a motion to authorize Mr. Alexander to prepare an ordinance for 20-minute only parking in front of Patsy's Market on Center Avenue.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Suchovich. Are there any questions?
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, in terms of creating an ordinance, let's say there's other businesses, they pop up around town as, we move forward. Every time someone wants a sign like that, do we make an ordinance, or can we make an ordinance that has to do with any business that wants to have restricted parking in front of their thing? I'm not quite understanding how that works.
I think that any time that you are putting parking signs in, the same way as if you change the direction on a street, everything has to be done by ordinance. I don't know how you can make a blanket ordinance that whenever council chooses to put up a new sign, they can put it up at various locations. I'll look at that. I'm not certain that we can do that.
Like, does that work with a handicap sign?
No.
That restricts the parking?
There's special provisions with regard to handicap signs, and we do that by motion. But like handicap signs, anybody who wants to park there for 20 minutes is going to be allowed to park there for 20 minutes. It's not going to be restricted just to Patsy's restaurant or whatever
Well,
it's called.
I also like to note too that that's the only business in Verona that's in a residential area.
Yeah.
It's been in there since 1961 or 63. So it's in a residential area.
Well, no, the bar down in
Automotive is.
Sylvan Bar,
Yeah.
There's a couple
So-
other ones, but.
yeah, Sylvan Bar is in a residential area.
But they got parking on the other side the whole length.
Okay. I don't have any issue with it, I just was trying to understand the process a little better, that's all.
I think what Dr. Carpenter wants to do is be able to streamline it and not have to go through the ordinance procedure and the
Yes.
cost incurrence of preparing an ordinance. If council just wants to make a motion to put a sign up by motion. And I'm going to look at that, we'll figure it out, but we're going to make sure that we have the ordinance done on this occasion because we have a violator. And we don't want him to be able to go to the magistrate and say, well, they did this by motion, it's an illegal sign, you can't find me guilty.
Okay.
So we're going to make sure that this one's done that way, and if we can do it by resolution moving forward, then we can do that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor made by Mr. McCarthy, second by Mr. Suchovich. Are there any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
That's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you. Okay, just a few things here. I'm sure everybody in going through Oakmont has noticed that the cleanup on the boulevard there, on the opposite side of their wall, going toward College Avenue. I think it looks really nice, but as you approach Verona, where you hit into the railroad property and all the weeds, the jungle effect that you have there going on. And I was wondering, is there some way we can clean that up? Can we cite the railroad company
Good luck.
to clean it up?
Good luck.
I look at the viaduct and the metal bars there where the flower club has their hanging baskets. They're kind of ruddy looking and rusty, and I mean, it really is a disgrace. I mean, you go from,
What it is, it's a shame.
It is a shame.
It's a shame that the railroad, hides behind the cloak it has with the PUC. They are exempt by law from our zoning ordinances. They do not have to comply with our code restrictions. And in the past, when the borough had taken it upon itself to trim weeds and try to make it look nice, that railroad actually came back against the borough and threatened to sue us for being on their property and cleaning it up. So that's what the shame of it is. This council, this borough, has no authority over that property at all. Only the PUC has authority over a railroad.
That goes back to the 1800s when the railroad first came in. And what the solicitor is talking about, when we asked them to cut between Grant and James Street, and they said, no, do not touch it. We actually went in, like you said, and cut it anyways. And I had called not only Doyle's office, but Costa's office, and I believe it was Costa's office that says, I've never heard of such a thing. He said, let me look into that. And about a week later, he called back, he says, you're right, they do not have to cut their weeds in a residential area. He says they're protected under I guess the PUC or whatever, which dates back, to the early the late 1800s, or mid 1800s.
I just think it's disgusting. I mean, one section of Oakmont there, I mean, it looks really nice. I mean, people are talking about it all the time, the cleanup.
They're replacing the wall.
Yeah,
We just got it from Dermody's
And then-
office for $140,000.
It looks very nice
Start
there.
across
It
the
really does.
viaduct
It's
and-
clean looking.
And
Is that railroad property too, then?
Yeah.
And so how does Oakmont
They-
get away with it?
They talked to Russ Peterson and paid for it. Oakmont paid for it.
So if anybody has a good relationship with the railroad or that Ralph Peterson person, maybe to
We've
get him to
got,
cooperate with us.
we've got this new community group
Yeah.
that has a lot of,
Cleanup coming up on the 8/7.
20th.
So I was like, oh, maybe that's an area we can focus on, but like, if they won't even let people.
it's not even litter,
Right.
it's the jungle effect.
Yeah. But
Well, you look on Front Street. You look on Front going back towards like High Street. It's disgusting back through there.
Well, that was
And
part
that's
two.
our property.
And I was thinking about the Doughboy because
Remember that?
back in April, in my notes, I went looking through my notes, back in April, we talked about raising the Doughboy up. And you even got a cost of $640, and we made a motion, and nothing ever happened there. And I just think, I think we could take a stronger stand than just saying, okay, well, you know
The
what?
railroad stopped us when we put the cannon, when we redid the cannon and we put the cement slab down, they stopped us. They said that they owned it. And Bill Helsley at the time, he went down and got the records that Pennsylvania Railroad gave the Women's Club that property over there for a monument. And he didn't want anybody to know that he, complained about that, which we told the whole board and everything at the time. Because he gives us a lot of problems, he really does.
But I just think, Oakmont takes a stand. They go after them, and he goes along with them. Okay, in Verona, we just sit there and we twiddle our thumbs and,
What do
okay,
you
it's
want to do? You have a
okay.
meeting with them?
Yes,
Yeah,
I think that'd be a
that would be a great idea.
We'll bring them in.
Okay, as mayor, do you want to do that? Do you want to request him to come in
Sure.
to a workshop?
Sure.
I'd like to also add that several years ago, there was a lot of complaints about the tall grass on either side of the railroad, right by the Verona Gardens. And I think at the time, now I can't swear to this for sure, that Mary Ann was able to talk to the railroad guy at the time and had a good relationship with whoever it was at the time, and that person said it's okay with them if the borough goes ahead and cuts that grass, and the street crew has been doing that ever since, on that one block between Grant and James.
I think I do remember they got permission.
Yeah, they got permission. Now, from Grant going the other direction, downriver, it's a weed fest down there, exactly, the same thing what you're talking about, Sandy, the jungle look. And Mary Ann would keep bringing it up, and it's so crazy how complicated it gets because of the railroad property.
But what can we do about the grading on the viaduct where the hanging baskets are? Can't that be painted?
Well, you'd have to get permission from the county. It's a county bridge.
County or state?
Isn't that a state road?
Yeah, maybe it is a state road. I mean, one or the other, whatever it is.
If we did get permission, then who would paint it?
There'll be a liability because it's so high up. They're not gonna, I mean, it's something we would have to talk to somebody about.
Well, I mean, you can paint it from the streets, from the sidewalk. I mean, that's how we plant the flowers. I think you can just, bend over and paint the other side.
What about the doughboy? Are we still gonna raise them up?
That's up to the board. I mean, I
We
just
already
needed-
made a motion on, we approved
You
it.
know what? When was that? 'Cause
April, back in April.
So
I mean,
what,
we could probably go back in the minutes, back in the
Yeah, I still
videos and stuff.
have the information on that.
Can you forward it to me, Dave?
What's that?
Can you forward me the information so we can?
Yeah. Because we deal with them, that company. But yeah.
Okay, good. The other thing I want to talk about is the summer lunch program. Shirley Davis, I had a lengthy conversation with her. They're going to do a fundraiser on Sunday, November 18th. They're going to have a bingo at William McKinley. Tickets are $25. Doors are going to open at 12 o'clock. Bingo's at 1. They're going to have Chinese auction. You can buy food and everything, but like all the proceeds from that bingo will go to the summer lunch program that gives a lot back to the community. So I think if you can patronize the bingo, it's a fun thing to do. The church is also having an apple dumpling sale tomorrow. Okay, they're having fresh homemade apple dumplings, $4 a piece. They're going to be available on Wednesday, the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, and there's telephone numbers to place orders, and you can pick them up.
this is at the church?
Here, you want a flyer?
Sure. Thanks.
Also, they need more handicap parking there at the Methodist Church. They're getting, for their dinners, their monthly dinners, they're getting 5 people in wheelchairs. They're getting several people with walkers. There's one space in front on Center Avenue and one space on Heron Avenue. And I think Shirley had spoken with Dom a while back as well, and he was going to extend that blue line on Heron all the way back to the yellow line, back to like the alley portion of there, okay, and it was never done. So as a result, somebody on Heron Avenue has a luxury elegance van that they're parking on, like right behind the blue line. So, I mean, handicapped people can't get in. I mean, there's one place, and if you don't know that it's right there in front, before you hit Center Avenue, you're going to miss your parking place. And I came that way to the meeting tonight and saw that, what she was talking about.
I seen it
So,
there this morning.
yeah, it's a very large bus type of van.
Yeah.
And if I could request an exec session, we don't have to return.
For?
Personnel. Okay, and that's it. Okay, Mr. Pitch.
Jerry had brought to my attention, we received a grant through Alcosan. It's up to $58,000, but it's for reimbursement of what our local share was for the lining projects this summer. So we'll put that together, and Jerry and I will get the information submitted, and we'll get reimbursed for that. just off the top of my head, I don't think we'll hit the 58,000. I think we were only around 40,000 out of pocket, but whatever we spent, we'll get back, basically. The other thing, we found out that we are going to be receiving another PA Small Water and Sewer grant. That is for some sanitary lining along Ridge Avenue, where there's some defects noted, and some additional lining on Diamond Way. The local share on that is $13,823. The grant is for $78,335. That's a 15.85% match there, or split, sorry. The Arley grant is moving along. We will be able to put the painting of the poles in as an add item. Under the cost estimate right now, it looks like we'll be able to do that. I hope to have that advertised by the end of the week and get it moving forward. The CDBG 44, we authorized that at the last meeting. We're just awaiting for the contracts to be executed. The Diamond Way Point repair behind the Eagles, that is completed. I have the first payment minus the retainage to approve tonight. That is in the amount of $30,495. When we got down to the sanitary line, it was about 20 foot deep, and it's an 18-inch line. There was some additional damage that was not seen on the cameraing beforehand, so we're in negotiations with the change order right now for the additional work that was done. The First Street reconstruction grant that we had applied for was not approved. However, PennDOT has another multimodal grant cycle opening up. They will be due in mid-November, I believe. So I can go ahead and resubmit that grant. I'll probably change it slightly because the match on the PennDOT grant is a little bit higher. The first one we applied for was a 15% match. This one's a 30% match. So I'll probably take out some of the things that were just kind of extra add-ons to lower the cost for the local match on that one. And I have a few items to be signed for the CDBG projects that we're applying for this year, the 4 that are listed there. The other item I have is, at last month's meeting, it had come up about storm drainage on Selden in regards to flooding CXL. I had met with them. There were some questions as if the project estimate, I believe it was around $6,700, if that was accurate or not. I met with him, Lou, from CXL, and the contractor. I believe it's gonna come in that, if not cheaper. We, however, do have to enter into an easement agreement with the Saxons, because one of the aspects of it to try to prevent the flooding, the road crowns right there, and the lower section of the road has curb and inlets. So when the existing structure overflows, it flows to the side of the road that doesn't have curbs, and it floods them out. So what they're gonna do is install an emergency spillway, so once the water would back up so much, it's gonna direct it to the portion of the road that has the curbs and inlets, and hopefully prevent flooding of the warehouse down there. I've talked to the Saxons, they're fine with it. This is more of a legal issue. Craig drafted it up for us, so with approval, I'll send it to the Saxons for them to sign, and then we can execute when we receive it back.
I have a motion to approve the letter to the Saxons for the drainage on Selden.
Easement document.
Pardon,
Easement document.
document. And the motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Suchovich. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
And then we would need a motion for the payment for the Diamond Way point repair in the amount of $30,495.
I'll make a motion to make the payment of $30,495 for the repairs of Diamond Way.
Second.
Okay, motion on the floor to repair Diamond Way by Mr. McCarthy and second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
And the last item of business I have been working with Craig and Mark. We found some old legal documents in regards to the Wildwood Avenue culvert area and responsibilities on it. Once we get those reviewed further and figure out exactly who's 100% responsible, on Wildwood, the address is 452. It's the BD Customs car lot there. Mark had brought it to my attention. We went over and looked at it the other day. There's several areas where the top of the culvert has failed to where there's basketball-sized holes where you can see through the culvert. And there's a section of sidewalk where the owner actually took his own backhoe and braced up the sidewalk where it's failing more. So that's going to be something that we need to address pretty quickly here.
Would the owner be responsible for any of that?
I don't believe it's the owner. I think it's between us, the county, and Penn Hills. But Craig and I have the old legal documents that we're going to confirm and then move forward with that.
Okay, thank you.
Matt, did you do anything with the 700 block of Diamond? The alley?
When you say 700,
Behind Billy K's and the mechanic, the coffee shop?
we haven't done anything yet. That is what the CDBG grant this year is.
Oh, okay.
We're just awaiting the contract. That will put a liner in that line from Eilers all the way to the Eagles. And then the other grant we just got, it'll pick up where that one leaves off and head down Diamond Way further.
Very good, thank you.
And with that, if you were kind of relating to some of the problems that we have
I
had.
was.
During this point repair, we had the video that Alexander did. We knew it was collapsed 3 to 4 inches on an 18-inch pipe. Once we got down to it, there were sections that were almost half collapsed. So
You mean behind Billy K's and at that end of it?
behind the Eagles.
Oh, behind the Eagles.
But I believe between Billy K's and the Eagles, I don't believe any of those properties have basements. So Billy K's would have been, if it was collapsed half like that, Billy K's would have been the first one that saw any type of backup. So
Seems like that's what was happening. It was backing up from Billy K's into the coffee shop and,
I think coming from that direction, I believe Billy K's is the first one with a basement. So I think part of the problem was the point repair that we just done, and then the lining will definitely help as well.
thank you.
Can I ask a question, Matt?
Yes.
I'm not remembering precisely where things were left with Second Street, with a letter that Mr. Brady had written about his concerns, and then there were some other residents that had some follow-up issues about that.
Yes, so those concerns and issues had come up after we had applied for the multimodal grant already. So we said that we would definitely make it a priority to look at it for our 2019 paving.
Okay.
Jerry and I have talked about it because there's numerous roads people have thrown out. We're gonna drive around one day this fall and put together a list and try to prioritize all the roads. That way we can give it to you and kind of let you know what we think the priorities are and how much damage is there. And second, that's a little more important, it serves more. I know some of the alleys are in pretty poor shape too, but it kind of comes down to making the determination of redoing an alley that might have 4 or 5 homes versus a pretty main street like Second.
My understanding too is that there's recently some large holes on Wildwood between Second and ARB. As you're going down the hill right there, when you come out of Second, make a right and go down by Verona Village Inn in that area.
I was not aware of those, but I'll definitely talk to AJ.
Put it on your list to drive around.
Yeah,
there.
I'll definitely take a look. Those ones are a little easier, being it's a concrete road, they're a little easier to patch than the brick is.
Yeah, the brick is a big project.
Yeah, and we'll see what we can do as far as price-wise. We get, I believe, around $85,000 for liquid fuels. So if we wanted to go a little bit larger, unfortunately for the width and the length of Second Avenue there, I think we'd have to do it in 2 phases unless we wanted to make it a much larger project. We'll look at what our options are for grants as well.
My assumption is we'd be taking out the bricks and not putting them back
Correct.
in.
We would do it
Like-
exactly how we did Spruce Street. We'd take the bricks out, regrade the sub base, and put only asphalt back.
Okay.
And when you're doing that, could you look at the issue from, on Wood Street there, where it comes out of Brady's house, I believe? There's a water, I mean, every winter, the ice gets very, very thick there.
Yeah, that
People
comes
have,
from like that landscaped area.
I'm not real sure, but I mean, it's been an issue there. There's been accidents. I know somebody that was backing out from the apartments there on Second, where they parked their car on Wood Street, and they backed up and they hit that ice, and they ended up, I think, going into Brady's yard and destroying but I mean, it wasn't their fault because of the ice.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that, see if that's something that we can handle and how, I know there's inlets at the bottom, so it could be something that if we get property owners permission, we can put some type of under drain or something into it. AJ and I will take a look at that.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Alexander?
Thank you, Madam President. A number of things to talk about this evening, so bear with me a little bit. The first thing is we have a bunch of ordinances that are going to come up under Dr. Carpenter's report. I'm going to speak on the stormwater one right now, though. It's spoken on at a few of the past meetings. It's a very comprehensive ordinance that is required by Allegheny County and the DEP to be passed, and it has to be accepted by December 1st in order to be valid. So when we get to the rest of the ordinances, we're going to talk about advertising them, but we might as well do them all, or do everyone that's ready for the November meeting, because this one has to get passed. Matt has reviewed it one final time. He's given me 3 little tabs of non-material stuff to look at, and so it is ready to go in final. I'm going to take a look at those 3 minor things, and that'll be ready to go. That's the only ordinance I want to talk about right now. Next is immediately preceding this meeting right now, we held demolition hearings on property owned by Ms. Edna Davis at 866 4th Street and Mr. Glenn Gruber at 870 4th Street. Mark Stanton was here in his capacity as code enforcement officer and zoning officer for the Borough of Verona, and has offered his professional opinion that these homes are public nuisances and uninhabitable and warrant demolition. So a motion would be in order to authorize the demolition of these 2 structures.
Can I have a motion to authorize the demolition of 866 4th Street and 870 4th Street as public nuisances?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Conti,
Second.
second by Dr. Carpenter. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
And I don't know if anybody's done this yet, but just let the minutes reflect that Mr. Conte arrived about 5 minutes ago. Next on...
I already got it.
What's that?
I already got it.
Very good. Next on my report is that Mark's been doing a lot of cracking down on some of these dilapidated structures and code enforcement issues. We have our committee meeting the 4th Monday of every month. I believe it's at 3:30 now. And we found a little more success going after these folks with civil complaints at the magisterial level, as opposed to filing what's called a non-traffic citation. And one of the reasons is because the magistrate, for whatever reason, they don't like to take non-traffic citations against corporations, and sometimes these code enforcement issues deal with corporations owning these properties as a management company. And non-traffic citations don't cost the borough any money. civil complaints due. So Mark believes that it's prudent to come before council and at least get some authorization for us to go forward. There's a number of them: Dom Leo, Guardian Angel, Mamadas, just to name a few. It's about $100, maybe give or take a few more dollars. But I would like council's authorization for Mark and I to be able to file civil complaints as we deem appropriate, after obviously talking with the enforcement, the ordinance and code committee, just the same as he would do as if he was filing a non-traffic citation. I told Mark today that I would ask council's approval for that.
Okay, can I have a motion to authorize Mr. Alexander and Mr. Stanton to file civil complaints as deemed appropriate on the properties that they've discussed?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. McCarthy. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you. I think the only other thing on my report, let me look here. Oh, I'm sorry. The mayor had asked the chief to forward over to my attention the borough's use of force policy. We've been getting some right-to-know requests with regard to issues. It's my opinion that policy is exempt from the Right-to-Know Act, but the mayor wanted me to review it just to make sure that it's in line and there's nothing out there that could cause the borough some liability. So based on that, the chief has forwarded me that use of force policy, and I am reviewing it right now. The only other thing on my report is 2 months ago we had a public hearing on petition to vacate a portion of James Street filed by Mr. and Mrs. Tompa. Mayor and council deliberated on that petition. We had a public hearing 2 months ago at the workshop meeting this past month. Mayor and council deliberated upon that petition, and it's my understanding that council is in agreement with authorizing a vacation of a portion of James Street along where the steps are and along the border of the garage and around the back, just cutting a right angle around the back.
Shed in the porch.
What's that?
The shed.
The shed in the porch. A straight line down. You can shoot a laser beam. So what I would like is a motion to approve council's decision and to authorize the engineer to prepare a meets and bounds description that I can prepare and put into an ordinance that we can also approve at November's meeting.
Okay, can I have a motion to authorize Mr. Alexander to prepare an ordinance to vacate that portion of property as discussed?
And the engineer to prepare the meets and bounds.
And the engineer to prepare the diagram?
Meets and bounds.
Needs and bounds.
Needs and what?
Bounds.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
That just means legal description.
2 seconds.
It's in the deed.
Right.
And I believe, Madam President, that concludes all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Conti.
Just real quick, Janet asked me about the
Thank you.
borough guys.
But real quick, I'm sorry. One other thing on my report, we talked on these different things that Mark's been doing. There's actually one property, this is a modest property, that Mark's been chasing for a while. He's an elderly Greek fella. Mark actually went out and he not only wrote his violation letter, he had it translated into Greek by a company so that the individual can't claim at the magistrate hearing that he didn't understand what we were talking to. So I thought that was pretty impressive. I just wanted to bring that to the attention of Mayor and Council. Sorry about that, Jerry.
Thank you. Don.
The lights at Cribs, I talked to the electrician. He said they're having a little bit of problems getting the wiring through the conduit. He doesn't know if there's dirt in the conduit or what's holding it up. They're figuring out where the problem is. They're gonna have to dig up the conduit to find out what's blocking it, if the conduit came apart or if somehow dirt got in it. But they're supposed to be doing that very shortly. He's supposed to let me know when he does it and what the problem was. Sorry, I haven't been to the last few meetings, been very busy at work.
Is the scoreboard working up there?
No, not yet. That should be working already, I don't know why that's not hooked up.
We're gonna get a flag there. I believe the board wanted to put it next to the scoreboard.
Yes.
So there should be a light also.
Yeah. I think there's an extra conduit going over there that we could run wiring or just jump it off of the
Right.
scoreboard. I'm not sure how you would do that, but yeah, we can put a light on that.
Dawn, before you came to, Shirley Davis had called me and asked if we could paint that blue line on Heron Avenue all the way back from the one handicap parking space back toward the alley. On Heron.
Extend it?
Extend it, because they have 5 people in wheelchairs that come to the monthly dinners.
Okay.
And currently, and I drove past it, so I saw it tonight, there's a luxury semi-bus parked, like right there, and it's been parked there since Friday.
Okay.
So
Conversion.
they can't get in or out unless they take that very first space, but you can't really see that space if you're heading down Heron, which is a one-way.
Okay. All right, I'll make sure. There's room to do it?
There should be, yeah.
Is that something, Craig, that needs to be done by ordinance so that it's enforceable?
What is it that they want to do?
They want to extend the handicap section of parking.
Is it going to be permanent?
They're going to paint a blue line.
Probably should.
Okay, so we need a motion.
Draft an ordinance.
Motion authorizing Mr. Alexander to draft an ordinance so that handicapped spaces can be placed at the Methodist Church.
I'll make that motion.
But they need that now, too. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
They do need it, yeah, they do need it. Okay, motion by Mr. Conti, second by Mrs. Loalbo. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say.
Yeah, one question.
Okay.
Can I go ahead with that? Or
Yes, that was going to be my recommendation, that you do it now.
Okay.
So that the blue line's on there, and hopefully the public will be cognizant of that and not park there, and then we'll get it formalized at next month's meeting.
Thank you. No, that's okay, thank you.
Sign for that, Craig, also.
There will be signs.
There already is a sign there for the one. But if the blue line gets extended, would that just be an automatic, or would we need like more signs?
Depends on what the sign says, but we'll take care of that.
Okay.
Don will take care of that.
And don't laugh, but I would be curious as to what, if any, update there is about the system out by the pavilion. Water
Sprinkler system?
Yeah.
As of right now, no, there isn't any update. I haven't been in here enough to talk to them, but we're starting to slow down. I should be able to get together with them and get that rolling. I think for what we do, what me and you talked about doing,
Yes, the
it's going to be
vision.
half of the work, so it should take no time to do it.
Okay.
But yeah, I will get right on that.
I'm just wondering whether, it's October, now the weather starts to become a factor.
Yeah.
Although you wouldn't know it's October today, it feels like July. But,
That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
thank
Hey,
you.
Dr. Carpenter?
Hi, yeah, so where we are in terms of the current ordinances that are going on right now, Craig already talked about the stormwater. The vacant property ordinance is in process right now as well. There is a drone ordinance that I believe we approved for advertisement, but we're waiting to advertise that until we get these other ordinances ready to go so we can advertise them all at the same time, like we did with the last batch. The brew pub ordinance is also in process, and both the vacant property and brew pub ordinance and firework ordinances will be discussed on October 22nd at 3:30 at our ordinance meeting. And the other thing I have here is been taken care of already with our mayor and our solicitor. And I'm not sure that I have anything else about those ordinances unless anyone has any questions.
So let me just jump in for a second.
Okay.
So it's my intention to advertise every ordinance that we can for the November meeting. I'm not sure that the brew pub ordinance will be finalized by then. We'll know once we go to the committee meeting on that Monday that Nancy just mentioned. I believe that the fireworks ordinance will be ready because we're only regulating the time that you can put them off. Stormwater's done, the drone is done. Another one that wasn't mentioned is the authorization to utilize the 2015 property maintenance code. The legislature is now allowing municipalities to use the 2015 property maintenance code as opposed to the 2009 code, which we've been using up until now. The vacant property registration ordinance is in draft form now. And Nancy and I are going to try to pare that down and the rest of the committee at that committee meeting.
So potentially, we could have some to approve for advertisement on the workshop on October 30th?
Well, and we can do it what I want to do is, I want a council to authorize me to advertise all outstanding ordinances, including the ones that are listed here, the extension of the handicap parking, and the sign for Center Road, or whatever that road is over there.
Center Avenue.
Center Avenue?
For Patsy's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe,
So maybe you might want to make that motion to advertise any and all outstanding ordinances for consideration at the November meeting.
Will that be the one for the church too, for the parking?
Yes.
Okay.
so I need to make a motion now?
That's what I would do.
Okay, so,
The motion to advertise all outstanding ordinances, including but not limited to the stormwater, brew pub, fireworks, drone, property maintenance code, vacant property, extending the handicapped parking, and the no parking sign.
I will make a motion to do what Mr. Alexander just said.
There you go.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Okay.
Okay, motion on the floor by
And also
Dr.
also the ordinance accepting the resolution on the James Street vacation too.
Oh, right.
Okay.
James Street, too, yeah.
Motion on the floor to authorize Mr. Alexander to advertise for all outstanding ordinances, not limited to the ones that were mentioned, made by Dr. Carpenter, and who second?
Good. Dom.
Dom. Mr. Conti second. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you. That's it for me, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McCarthy?
The police committee met. We have, we think will be the final. It's being sent, Mr. Alexander has it, he's writing up the contract. We will present it to the police to make sure that, as soon as he gets it to us, give it to them. And once they've reviewed it, we can bring it to council for a full vote. I'll make sure that council gets a copy of it once I have a copy.
Thank you.
That's it.
Mr. Sechovich?
As Mr. Kenna stated earlier, we're open to the first review of the budget, ready for the workshop. I'm working on that, and just waiting for things to come in.
Thank you. Mrs. Loalba?
The next rec board meeting will be on Monday, November 5th, due to elections being on the 7th at 7 PM here in the Borough Building. It is an open meeting to the public.
November 5th?
Yes.
Rec board?
Yes. Rec board also, they're going to do 2 walkthroughs to all the borough parks, just to see what maintenances, what things need done upgraded to help prepare for the budget. So we'll get a number in to you, Ray and Jerry, to see.
How quickly?
Right now. Already got to talk with numbers and see what we need to do, because we were looking to see it, like on the 15th was going to be the first walkthrough. It would be too late. October 15th, it's a Monday.
When's the walkthrough?
They were talking about Monday, the October 15th, and Thursday, October 25th.
That's fine, but could you try to get me a preliminary number by the end of that week?
What time is the walkthrough?
I believe it's at 6 o'clock.
5, 6, 5:30,
6
something like that. Yeah, when people get off work.
5:30.
5:30
5:30.
at Cribs or?
We meet at Cribs first.
On the 15th, we're meeting at Riverbank.
Riverbank.
Riverbank on the 15th at 5:30?
I think it's 6.
The 25th?
No, this is the 15th.
The 15th.
15th is, we're meeting at Riverbank Park.
Okay.
15th is Riverbank.
At 6 o'clock, 6 p.m.
Bring flashlights?
Riverbank's small, we should be able to handle that for daylight savings time.
And the 25th is where?
Cribs. That's at 5.
The 25th, so you're only gonna have one walkthrough done on the 15th?
We're gonna get as much done as we can, because that's why we have 2
We'll get
days.
something.
Basically, we're out of daylight, and we'll do 2 parks on the 15th, and then 2 parks on the 25th.
Try to get me something as soon as you can, because I gotta have a somewhat finalized budget by the workshop.
Yeah, Mike had mentioned something to some of us, so he said that you were looking for something soon. so-
Yeah.
So the Cribs walkthrough on the 25th is at 5?
25th, the 25th at 5:30.
The 25th at 5:30?
5:30.
I had 5 o'clock. That was what Trish had written down.
Okay, thank you. Is that?
You're welcome. And I just want to also say that the Lower Valley Football League, their total balance that they've donated to the borough so far has been $1,939.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mrs. Provenza.
Yes, thank you. Newsletter is at the printer right now, so it'll be in your mailboxes any day now. Also, I have a question on the billboards. Not that I'm opposed to them, but I have a question. As head of communication committee, I do have some questions on it, and I'd like to know, how are we going to oversee what goes on those billboards and how long it stays on there? And also, who would be in charge of this? Are we as a council in charge of what goes up on those billboards?
What billboard are you talking about?
The
digital
billboard
one?
that is going to go up on Boulevard.
Are you referring to what is going up there, meaning what we're gonna put up there? Or
When
what
I think
he's
she's
gonna-
talking about that lighted billboard they're
When
putting
Mr.
up.
and Mrs. Folks were here and their son?
Yeah, and they said that they're gonna put things up there for us, is that what you're asking? How
Right,
we're gonna
right.
determine what we put up there?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we in charge of what goes up there and how long it stays?
So, I would imagine that we are going to decide what we put up there as far as our content. If
Right.
what he sells on his side of it is up, that's him.
Oh, no, I don't mean
Okay.
his, I mean our
As far as what
borough business.
they're offering us, yeah, and then they, from what I gathered from conversations plus that letter, they're open to whatever we want to put up there, and they're willing to give us, I believe the letter said 45 minutes per day
Right,
worth
right.
of screen time.
Yes, I just saw that this evening.
Yeah, and I'm sure they would let it stay up there as long as we want,
Okay.
per 45 minutes per day. So
I
like,
just felt like we needed some sort of a protocol for this.
yeah, we should probably discuss that and try to come up with a process to get them the information and how to submit it and who decides what it is. We should come up with that.
Okay.
It's a new situation for us.
Right. That's why I was questioning it. Not that I'm
Yeah.
opposed to it, it's just that,
We should build a process.
yeah, we should have a process for it. The other thing is, I received in the mail a information packet from Local Government Academy, and they're going to hold a 3-day course, and it's entitled a Municipal Planning Education Institute Zoning Course. And this course is in zoning, and it's a 3-session course, and it's a very in-depth nuts and bolts course, and it's in drafting, amending, administration, and monitoring of zoning ordinances. And this course is in zoning, and it also provides continuing education credits for any attendee that applies. In other words, if Attorney Alexander went, you would receive 108 credits for being there.
108 credits?
Yes, I checked with them today. I needed to know what are the credits in case somebody here is interested. And they said, do you have an attorney that attends your meeting? And I said, absolutely. And they said he would receive 108 credits. And this is a...
When is it?
Well, I'm getting to that. Yes. Now, this is located at Community College of Allegheny County, West Hills Center. The address on that is 1000 McKee Road, and it's in room S306, and that's in Oakdale, 15071. The time for these sessions or these courses is from 5:30 to 9:30. The cost is $95 for the entire 3-part course, and the dates, it starts October 22nd. The next course would be the 29th of October, and the last one, which is the third one, of course, would be November 5th. And I wanted to present that to council in case we had somebody here that was interested. Sounds like a very full course.
Would that be pertinent for our zone hearing board members to attend?
Would be good.
And I think Mark also.
And Mark. So, make a motion?
Would we be willing to pay for them to go?
Well, I think you would have to.
Okay.
Oh, you have to. It's $95 for all 3 classes. And they're 4 hours each. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And
We need a motion?
Yes.
You want to make a motion for Mark Stanton and the zone hearing board members to attend and Mr. Alexander, sorry, and Mr. Alexander to attend?
yeah, he can get his 108 credits. Okay, I'll make a motion for anyone on zoning hearing board or this could even, and Mark Stanton, of course, also Attorney Alexander, if he would like to go. And I don't know if that's open even to our council, if anybody were interested.
I'd say anybody, I mean,
Yes,
sure.
it's open to anybody. It's entitled the Pennsylvania Municipal Planning Education Institute Zoning Course. So I'll be glad to make that motion.
Motion by Mrs. Provenza, I will second. For attendance at the zoning hearing meetings provided by Allegheny League of Municipalities?
Allegheny League of Municipalities.
Are there any questions?
I do. Is this considered mandatory for our zoning hearing board and Mark? Or is this just if they would like to go?
Their schedule may not permit it. I don't know how you make it mandatory.
Yeah.
That's what I needed to clarify.
Yeah.
They didn't say it was mandatory, they just
I wanted to know if
inviting
Yeah.
who
the
would
borough
like to
was
do it.
making
And
it
this
mandatory.
is through local government.
We're offering to the zoning board to,
I think it would be pertinent because I know Mr. Steinhaus tried to encourage that with the planning commission as well as the zone hearing board, and nobody participated in it. So I think this, needs to be done.
Well, when I got it, I just thought, I need to bring this to the board.
And we have a representative here too, right? Mr. Wolf, you're on it. You're on the zone hearing board. And Ms. Tompa, you're on the zone hearing board. Mr. Appleby, Mr. Breyer, and I think there's one other.
Jablonski.
Mr. Jablonski, right. So would you contact those people?
Sure.
And,
Angela.
Angela.
Mr. Appleby's on planning.
Planning.
Does this apply to planning? I'm sorry.
no,
This
it's
is
zone
zone
hearing.
Yeah, you're right.
Planning in there, but I
Yeah,
wasn't sure.
yeah.
So would you give that information to Mr. Kenna
Sure, be glad to.
so that he has that information? He's going to contact those people.
Okay.
And then if
I'll give
anybody on
everything I have
council
on here.
is interested,
Okay.
okay?
I have a question too. I'm confused. Is it Local Government Academy or Allegheny League of Municipalities?
No, it's Local Government Academy.
That's what I thought.
ALOM is hosting it.
Oh,
It's through Allegheny. No, it's through Local Government Academy.
The local government academy. Okay.
No, that's okay.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Any more questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you.
You're welcome. Say, I have one other thing, real
Okay.
quick. I just received this evening, and Allegheny County Boroughs Association delegates. They're going to have a meeting on Thursday, November the 8th from 6:30, from 6 to 6:30 at the Westin Hotel in Pittsburgh. And they're going to have an election looking for delegates to be on that committee if anybody here is interested. I think you all got this letter.
Is that their sit-down dinner?
It's just light refreshments. I read it real quickly. It's not a sit-down dinner, if I remember correctly. But that's coming up on November the 8th, if anybody has an interest in that. And that is with ALOM, Allegheny League of Municipalities.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
All right, thank you.
The website?
Yes, there is a website here if you're
No,
interested.
no, update on our website?
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped that. Jerry, do we have any update on
Just
the website?
we're planning, like we discussed at the workshop, because I don't think anybody was actually here. At the workshop meeting, the company's planning to come and actually give everybody a tour of the new website.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And we met with them and went through everything, and it looks good, and it's
Ready to
promising.
go.
So, okay.
Okay. Thanks, Jerry. Thanks for reminding me. Nancy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any reports from the special committees? I was unable to attend COG. I'm not real sure if anything,
I did, the one thing that they did talk about was the big equipment that was purchased, the orders that were through the big grant, the paving, well, the trailer, the manufacturer that was going to make the trailer, they no longer do that, so they had to go to an alternative manufacturer, but the trailer will not be delivery until after the new year, therefore the paver and the roller will not be transported to Allegheny Valley until that time. And when that time comes, then they'll have a training. But they did have the skidster Bobcat, and all its attachments are in, and there'll be training opportunities or thinking on scheduling that for October 12th. So the different municipalities, they can send in representative. And Tom, it was not Tom Benecki, but Tony Taliano, you should get in touch.
That's what we get in touch with.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, I think we should.
Schedule that.
We should send our guy, at least one member.
I think it's a good idea. Do we need a motion to authorize sending? Okay, can I have a motion to authorize sending one of our street department fellows to attend the training with the COG on the heavy equipment?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Conti. Is there a second? Second by Dr. Carpenter. Are there any other questions?
Will that cover when or do we have to do this again when they bring the paver? We have to make another motion, I guess? Or just cover all of them?
I think this is just for the training?
Yep.
Just for the training,
Yeah.
on October the 12th.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do it again when the other stuff comes in.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
That's all.
Thank you very much.
We didn't,
No. Motion on the floor. Are there any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you.
Sandy, before you continue with the rest of the meeting, I forgot to mention, this has to do with, from 2 weeks ago at the workshop, about Patty Tuminello had been on the registered comments and wasn't apparently able to attend. And I've been in very brief communication with her, and she said she's unable to do the decorating. So whatever she was going to ask for doesn't count in terms of it being her. So I asked her if it was okay if I informed people that she was not going to be doing, and she said that was okay. So I just want to put before everyone, do we want to decorate the pavilion, and how do we want to handle that? I don't know if Park and Recs wants to take that over.
I think it needs decorated. It looks really nice when it is.
Yeah, I
It
think so
does.
too.
So I just want to bring that up since her and her son are not going to be doing that anymore, how we want to proceed.
Janet, what do you think, Parks and Rec?
We might, but it's fall now, so we need to do it.
Do it now, yeah.
Right.
Like get some corn stalks and pumpkins.
See, we can do Parks and Rec, or we can have the streets, ask the streets crew if they would be willing to do it.
do you think that they would? You want to check that out first? That they might have easier access to it during the day. Okay. So motion is on the floor for the street department to do the decorating of the pavilion made by Mr. Conti. I'll second. Are there any other questions?
Well, just then, so we're gonna decorate for fall up until Halloween, and then are they
I think
willing
we can decorate for fall,
for fall?
Halloween and Thanksgiving.
And then at some point, switch it over to Christmas? Like right after Thanksgiving, do you think?
Yeah,
Okay. And
Time for the parade.
in time for the parade.
Before Thanksgiving, the parade is.
the parade is before Thanksgiving, that's right.
Yeah, it's on the 17th.
17th of November.
So,
It ends here in Verona, right, David?
You know what, the last several
Starts in
years, it's
Oakmont.
ended in Oakmont. I don't know what they're doing.
I talked
Okay.
to Ray Rogers tonight, he said it ends in Oakmont, or it starts in Oakmont, ends in Verona.
That's what I have in my calendar,
Yeah.
that it starts in Oakland at 5 and ends in Verona.
so we might want to switch that over the week before or something, if they're willing to do it. And what do we do if they're not willing to do it?
They'll be willing to do it.
Don't do it.
Do we want to say that the street committee, in conjunction with Parks and Rec, if necessary, just to have some belts and suspenders?
That would be good.
Yeah,
Okay?
that works.
All right, so motion's been adapted to say street department in conjunction with Parks and Rec to, that's right, to decorate the pavilion for fall and Christmas.
Who has the decorations? Do we have them in the garage?
Oh, no, she goes out and buys corn stalks and pumpkins every year, which is why she was gonna ask for money.
Yeah, I can see that. How about lights? Do we have
I
lights?
think the lights were kaput at the end of last season, which is again why she was gonna come and ask for money. So new lights need to be obtained. Hopefully, they're all either white or yellow, not a combination of the two, which is what was happening.
Why don't we get some nice white lights and just hang her permanently for every holiday? Why do we have to keep changing the color of the lights and everything?
No, they don't change it.
We can leave them nice bulbs up there around the pavilion and they're done.
And then just turn them off and just...
That's just a thought.
Can the street department with Parks and Recreation get together and decide what to do with the lights?
Great idea.
Okay.
I'll talk with AJ and see if I can get something.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, me and Jan will get together.
Okay.
We'll have dinner.
That sounds like good idea. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Okay, council will now hear comments from the public on public-related items. Please approach the podium, state your name and address, limit your comments to 3 minutes.
My name is Timothy Long, I live at 323 Penn Street, and I'm here to ask about the water fountain at Krebs is broken again. It's not on, so I went up and turned it off, and didn't let you guys know it's broken. The other thing is our league runs until the week after November. So if you guys can talk to the water and not have them turn it off at the beginning of November.
Week after
Like they did last year.
Thanksgiving.
We ended up going 3 weeks with no bathrooms and no water. So that's all I have, thank you.
Thank you.
Tim, you said Thanksgiving, you said November. Thanksgiving.
Week after Thanksgiving. I got you.
Thank you.
I said they turned it off last year.
Hello, Dave Matlin, 722 Bruno. As I understood it earlier, the James Street property vacation, Matt's going to do a diagram of some sort?
Yes.
Will that be publicly available?
Once he prepares the meets and bounds, I'll incorporate it into the ordinance, and then you'll see the ordinance get advertised. You'll know it's advertised at least 7 days before the November meeting, because we're required to advertise it within 7 days. So it will be ready, and the public's welcome to come up and take a look at it at any time.
It'll be available at the Borough Building?
It will be available at the Borough Building.
Okay. But it'll also be in the advertisement? Or?
No, there'll just be a summary in the advertisement.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Lori Tompa, 137 James Street. I just want to thank the council for deliberating on the situation that we've had. So I know it's not get resolved, but just thank you for taking your time. I gotta understand. And also for zoning, school.
Yeah, good.
Don Moore, 636 3rd Avenue. I have a challenging question for the council up here. What's the ordinances on putting your garbage out for a pickup?
I believe it's 4 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock
And where does that
then
have to be put out at?
at the curb.
At the curb, okay. Well, that's the problem.
Like Tuesday night for Wednesday.
Well, that's the problem I have. The person that bought the house right next to mine is not allowed to put their garbage at their curb. And as a consequence, the garbage pickup company told her that she had to bring it down to the corner of Wood and 3rd and leave it there for pickup. And that she was responsible for then putting her cans back on her property at some point in time. Well, she doesn't get home until 4 o'clock. And that's, I don't see why she has to put her garbage on the corner down there, because when it's picked up by the garbage company, they just throw the cans on my grass, and it looks like it's mine. And if I don't pick it up, then it looks terrible.
The people who lived there before, what did they do with it?
They put it on the curb.
How come this
And the
lady
garbage
can't?
company would back their truck up, put her garbage in, and then put it up. No, they were handicapped, as I think they were handicapped.
That has never been, they always pick up in front, the borough manager needs to call them.
Is this the neighbor on 3rd or neighbor on Wood?
On
Third.
I understand why they wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
Isn't
they've
the
never
deal-
done that.
The deal is that it's supposed to be picked up in the alley.
The deal, that's the caveat.
I mean,
Yeah.
you guys, everyone else on 3rd puts their garbage in the
I have
alley.
access to the alley, but that house
This
doesn't have
particular
access.
house doesn't have access.
The purchaser was never informed of that prior to her buying the house. So she's kind of stuck in a situation. I'm stuck in a situation. Actually, we all are up there, because in the winter, when that wind blows, that garbage is going to go everywhere. And I mean,
Why doesn't she have access to the back alley? I mean, like
because
everybody.
there's no cutout. There was never they never put a step down or anything like that.
So from her house, she has no
She
access
has
to
no
the
access from her
alley.
house. Now, she can walk on the other property if they let her, and go down their driveway.
Who wants somebody
But that's
going on
a
their
long walk.
property?
You know, it's
Wouldn't she have to cut out part of her yard then and put access
Probably that would
in?
be the ultimate plan.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that's a requirement, and that's why I asked about the ordinances. All I'm saying is that the garbage company was very kind and considerate of everybody, including the people who lived there prior, to pick up their garbage, but they're not cooperating with this person. And I just want to bring this up to council. I think the council might have leverage to inform them to, carry on the way they were before.
640, is the address 640?
I don't know offhand.
It's right next to
my
636.
house.
Right next,
636,
it's the gray house.
It's probably 640, or maybe it's 641. Probably 640.
Okay.
It was Rupe's Pantone's residence.
Yeah.
It goes to the alley, but it's on.
So they can't put it on the front. The garbage truck
They
doesn't come
won't pick
down.
up her garbage if she puts it at the end of her sidewalk, to 3rd Street there.
Because they don't come down 3rd, they only go down the alley.
They won't come up 3rd.
It's a one-way.
But now they won't.
So they come down through the alley, they have to back up in
They always
the,
did back up.
in the alley opposite their house. They have to back in because they can't, there's no turnaround.
Gotcha.
I don't know if they can reroute
So,
somehow, or...
We'll call Waste Management and see why they won't see.
Either that or they're gonna have to invest in some form of putting it down to the alley.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's the law or not.
It'd be nice if Mr. Worf took it down for her.
Well, I do, and that's, so even Ray up the street would do it for you.
And sometimes it just sits there till the next day
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
so-
that's not right.
Yeah, but it's not, yeah, I have seen it, so,
I
We're all
let it
paying.
go for a couple of weeks, and now it's starting to bother me a little bit. It's not her fault. It's not her fault at all. I don't see why she has to go through a great expense to modify her property when it was done before.
That's what you purchase.
No, that's what they did for the other people.
Yeah.
And I think they should do it for this person.
Mr. Kennett's going to look into it.
Until they can remedy the problem.
Yeah, I'll call Waste Management, we'll take a look at the property and see if we can figure it out. Yep.
Thanks, Don.
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn to exec session without need to return?
Personnel issues.
For personnel issues. Motion by Mrs. Provenza, second by Mr. Conti. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed.